Today, we're talking about one of the most misunderstood parts of male female dynamics knowing when a woman actually wants you to make a move on her. Every man has been there before, standing in front of a woman, overthinking, second guessing, and walking away wondering if he missed his shot. The truth is, women rarely come right out and say, "Take me now." They live in subtlety, in hints, in body language. And if you don't learn how to read those signals, you'll either come off as too hesitant or you'll push too far and ruin the interaction. And here's where it gets controversial. Modern dating advice has lied to men by telling them to play it safe, to wait, to ask permission for every little thing. That sounds polite, but in reality, it kills attraction. Women don't want a man who is frozen by fear. They want a man who can see what's happening, recognize her signals, and lead with confidence. This isn't about being pushy, it's about understanding the dance that's already taking place. If she's giving you the signs and you do nothing, you're not being respectful, you're being blind. So, in this video, I'm going to break down the key signs that a woman actually wants you to move. Not in theory, not in fairy tales, but in real situations you'll face in your life. You'll learn how to spot the way she looks at you, how she positions herself around you, how her words and actions shift when she's waiting for you to step up. Welcome to the channel, gentlemen. If you have ever wondered why women pull away when you hesitate, or why they lose interest, even though you did everything right, this video is going to change the way you see those moments forever. Her eye contact lasts longer than normal one. Her eye contact lasts longer than normal. Eye contact is one of the oldest and clearest signals a woman can give a man. Yet most men either downplay it or misread it completely. Think about it. How many times have you been in a room and noticed a woman glance at you only to second guess yourself? You tell yourself it was nothing, that maybe she was just looking around. But here's the reality. Women are deliberate with their eyes when they're interested. And if you know what to look for, it becomes almost impossible to miss. A quick glance is nothing special. People glance at strangers all the time without meaning anything by it. What you need to pay attention to is when her gaze lingers. If she locks eyes with you and holds that gaze for a second or two, longer than what's normal in casual social interactions, that's a sign. It's not accidental, it's intentional. And if she pairs that with a subtle smile, a raised eyebrow, or even a quick glance down and back up again, she's sending you a message without saying a word. Now, here's the part most men get wrong. They think if a woman is interested, she'll come straight up to them and make it obvious. That almost never happens. Women are not wired to take the lead in this way. Instead, they use their eyes to create an opening, to test if you have the awareness and confidence to respond. It's like she's laying down a green light, but she's not going to drive the car you are. Imagine being at a bar, for example. You're with your friends, and across the room, she keeps catching your eye. You notice it once, then again a few minutes later. She's not just looking at the wall behind you, she's looking at you. Maybe she even looks away quickly when you catch her, pretending she wasn't staring. That little game is her way of keeping the tension alive. If she wasn't interested, she'd avoid eye contact altogether. But if she keeps finding your eyes again and again, that's a signal she's waiting for you to make your move. It's the same in quieter settings, too. Maybe you're sitting in a cafe and she's at the table across from you. She glances up from her laptop or book more than once, each time her eyes holding yours just long enough for you to feel it. In those moments, she's opening the door. She's showing interest without words. And if you ignore it, she'll assume you're either not confident or not interested. Here's the bottom line. Women use eye contact to test your ability to lead. A lingering look is never just a look. It's an invitation. Most men let it pass by, trapped in hesitation or fear of being wrong. But the men who understand this unspoken signal, they're the ones who take the chance, walk over, and start the conversation she's been waiting for. She finds reasons to be close to you two. She finds reasons to be close to you. One of the clearest signs a woman wants you to make a move isn't in what she says, it's in how she positions herself around you. Attraction has a way of pulling people together physically, and women know this better than anyone. They may not openly declare, I want to be near you, but their bodies will tell the truth long before their mouths do. Pay attention to the little shifts. Let's say you're at a social gathering. She could sit anywhere, but she chooses the spot next to you, even when there are plenty of other seats available. That's not random, it's deliberate. She's putting herself in your orbit because she wants proximity, And if she's already close, but then leans in just a little more when you talk. Closing the gap between you, that's her silently saying she feels comfortable and she wants you to notice. It's not just about sitting next to you either. Watch how she moves when she's standing. Does she drift into your personal space, brushing past your arm or shoulder more than once? Does she accidentally bump into you in a crowded place when she had enough room to avoid it? These little movements are subtle tests. A woman who isn't interested will keep a safe distance. A woman who is interested will find excuses to break that invisible barrier of space. Here's where it gets really interesting. Many times she'll disguise these movements as casual. She might lean over to look at your phone, pretending she's just curious. Or maybe she adjusts her seat so that her knee or foot lightly touches yours, as if it just happened naturally. But make no mistake, women are very aware of their bodies. If she's letting herself touch you, she's signaling that she's open to more. Even in conversation, proximity matters. Notice if she angles her chair or body toward you instead of away. Notice if she steps closer when she laughs or tilts her head near yours while you're talking. These are not just unconscious quirks, they're small invitations. Women rarely come out and announce attraction, but they will let you feel it in how close they allow themselves to be. Here's a simple test. If you step slightly closer to her, does she back away or does she hold her ground? If she stays put or better yet leans in even closer, you can take that as one of the strongest signs she wants you to make a move. Women who aren't interested will create space. Women who are will eliminate it. Attraction thrives in these little shifts of space and movement. The man who notices them instead of brushing them off as coincidence is the man who never misses his moment. When she finds ways to be near you, she's telling you without words, I'm giving you the opportunity. What are you going to do with it? 3. Her body language opens up. Her body language opens up. If you really want to understand whether a woman wants you to make a move, you have to learn how to read her body language. Words can lie, smiles can be polite. But the body rarely hides the truth. A woman who is closed off will make it obvious. Crossed arms, turned away shoulders, stiff posture, or constantly checking. Her phone. On the other hand, when she's open and receptive, her body will invite you in long before she ever says a word. Think about the difference between a defensive stance and a welcoming one. When someone crosses their arms, they're creating a physical barrier. It's like a silent wall that says, stay back. But when a woman uncrosses her arms, rests her hands loosely, or places them where you can see them, she's breaking that barrier down. That openness isn't just about comfort, it's about signaling that she feels safe around you. Pay attention to her posture. If she leans away, she's distancing herself. But if she leans forward even slightly, it's her body's way of saying, I'm engaged with you. I want more of this. Watch her shoulders too. If they're turned towards you rather than angled away, that's a green light. The body naturally orients itself toward what it desires. Another subtle but powerful cue is where her feet are pointing. Most men ignore this, but it's one of the most reliable signs. If her feet are pointed toward the door or away from you, her attention is somewhere else. But if her feet are pointed directly at you, even when she's talking to someone else, that means you have her focus. The body unconsciously aligns with what the mind is most interested in. And don't overlook the small movements. When she plays with her hair, exposes her neck, or touches her lips while looking at you, these are primal signals. They're not random gestures. Hair flipping, tilting the head, or slowly tucking hair behind the ear are ways of drawing your attention to her femininity. Exposing the neck is a classic sign of vulnerability and openness. It's her body's way of telling you she feels safe enough to let her guard down. Here's where most men fail. They don't connect these signals with timing. If she starts out reserved but slowly opens up during your interaction, arms unfolding, posture softening, body leaning in, that's not coincidence. That's her warming up to you and giving you permission to step closer. But if she stays closed off the whole time, that's a clear sign she's not interested. And the worst thing you can do is force the interaction. Understanding body language is like learning a new language. Once you can read it, you'll never be confused again. When her body opens up, she's not just comfortable. She's signaling that she's ready for you to lead. And the man who pays attention to that will always know the right moment to make his move. 4, she touches you first, even she touches you first. even casually. When it comes to attraction, touch is one of the most powerful signals a woman can send. But here's the challenge: not every touch is the same. Some are polite, some are accidental, and some are deliberate invitations. If you don't know how to tell the difference, you'll either miss the signal completely or worse, overthink it until the moment passes. The key is to understand the little ways women use touch to show they're ready for you to make a move. Start with the obvious. If a woman reaches out and taps your arm while laughing at something you said, that's more than just humor. It's connection. People don't touch strangers unless they feel some level of comfort. When she breaks that physical barrier and uses touch to emphasize her words, she's showing you that she's comfortable with closeness. That single touch may not seem like much, but in the language of attraction, it speaks volumes. Now, let's talk about the playful touches. Maybe she nudges your shoulder during a joke, playfully shoves you when teasing, or gives you a quick tap on the chest when disagreeing with you in a lighthearted way. These aren't random. They're her way of testing how you'll respond to physical contact. If you laugh it off, smile, or lightly return, the energy she knows you're confident enough to handle her signals. If you freeze up or ignore it, she'll assume you're missing the hint. Then there are the subtle touches that seem almost innocent but carry deeper meaning. Fixing your collar, brushing lint off your shirt, or adjusting your hair. Those little helpful gestures are not about fashion, they're about closeness. A woman who isn't interested will never reach into your personal space to fix you, but one who's attracted will find these excuses to touch you while making it look casual. You also need to pay attention to the duration of the touch. A quick handshake or bump might mean nothing, but if her hand lingers on your arm or shoulder, just a moment longer than necessary, that's intentional. Women know how long a touch should last in normal social interactions. If she extends it, she's trying to create a spark. Of course, context matters. Some women are naturally touchy with everyone, and you have to separate general friendliness from actual attraction. The difference is that when she's interested in you, the touches will be more targeted, more personal, and often paired with other signals like eye contact, smiling, or leaning closer. Here's what you need to remember: touch is one of the boldest forms of nonverbal communication. When a woman touches you first, even casually, she's taking the first step in breaking down barriers. She's giving you permission to move forward. The men who understand this don't overthink it. They respond with confidence. They match her energy, and they use that moment to deepen the connection. 5. She teases you or creates playful tension. She teases you or creates playful tension. One of the strongest and most overlooked signs that a woman wants you to make a move is the way she teases you. On the surface, teasing looks like she's giving you a hard time, but in reality, it's one of the oldest flirting techniques in the book. When a woman teases you, she's not trying to push you away. She's trying to draw you in, create a spark, and see if you can handle the tension without folding. Let's make this real. Imagine you're out at dinner with a group of friends. You say something and she laughs, but then she playfully mocks you. Maybe she imitates the way you said it or exaggerates your point in a joking way. Most guys get defensive here as if she's making fun of them. But a smart man understands what's really happening. She's testing your energy. She's saying, "Can you handle a little fire from me? Can you keep up?" Or think about a woman joking about your outfit. "Wow, those shoes. Did you get those on sale in 2005?" She's not insulting you. She's pulling you into a playful back and forth. The goal isn't to put you down, it's to see if you'll rise to the challenge and give her something back. If you laugh and respond with your own playful jab, yeah, I saved the good shoes for a real date. You've just doubled the chemistry. Teasing often shows up in smaller, subtle ways, too. She might roll her eyes at you, shake her head when you say something silly, or call you out for being trouble. On the surface, it looks like criticism, but if it's paired with smiling, laughing, or lingering eye contact, it's attraction in disguise. A woman who isn't interested won't bother teasing you at all. She'll just ignore you. Teasing requires effort, and effort means investment. Here's the mistake many men make: they take teasing literally. They think she must not respect me if she's making jokes at my expense. But the truth is, women tease the men they're most interested in. It's their way of creating playful tension, of pulling you into a little private game that only the two of you are in on. And that game creates a sense of intimacy long before anything physical happens. Remember, attraction thrives on tension. too much. Seriousness too soon kills the spark. Teasing is her way of keeping things light, fun, and charged with energy. If you recognize it for what it is, you won't get offended or overthink. You'll laugh, lean into it, and play along. That's what she wants. The man who doesn't crack under pressure but matches her energy and leads the banter. So, when a woman teases you, don't mistake it for rejection. Take it for what it is, a flashing green light. It's her way of saying, I like you, and I want to see if you're bold enough to handle me. 6. She drops hints in conversation. She drops hints in conversation. When a woman wants you to make a move, she rarely comes out and says it directly. Instead, she'll drop hints in conversation. Breadcrumbs that lead you exactly where she wants you to go. The problem is most men are either too distracted to catch them, or they get so excited that they lose control of themselves. The key is to notice the hints, but stay calm, collected, and in the driver's seat. Let's start with the obvious ones. If she casually mentions that she's single, that's not small talk. It's an opening. Women don't randomly announce their relationship status unless they want to signal availability. She might phrase it lightly. GH, dating apps are the worst. I'm still single. Or yeah, I don't have a boyfriend to help me with this stuff. If she's saying it to you, she's planting the thought in your mind that she's open for something to happen. Another common hint is when she talks about situations that could involve the two of you. For example, she might say, I've been meaning to try that new rooftop bar downtown, but I haven't gone yet. That's not just conversation, it's an invitation. Or she might drop playful comments like, I bet you couldn't handle me in a karaoke battle. Or you'd probably lose if we played pool. Those lines aren't challenges about games. They're her way of creating opportunities for future interactions. But here's the part where many men go wrong. They jump on these hints too eagerly. The moment she says, I've been wanting to try that bar, they blurt out, let's go tomorrow. That might seem confident, but it often comes across as needy or rushed. The better move is to acknowledge the hint with calm confidence, then steer it. You might reply, that rooftop bar? Yeah, I've heard it's good. We'll go when you can prove you can actually handle it. That way, you're still in control of when and how it happens, while making it playful. Sometimes the hints are even subtler. She might bring up late night activities. I always get hungry after midnight, or I can never sleep early on weekends. Or she'll frame things in a way that keeps the door open for you. I usually don't go out on Sundays, but I guess it depends on who's asking. These aren't just random comments, they're ways of signaling. I'm giving you permission if you want to take it further. The real lesson here is simple. Women use conversation to give you permission without ever saying the words outright. Your job is to hear what she's really saying, not just what comes out of her mouth. But at the same time, you can't lose composure. If you act like she's doing you a favor by dropping these hints, you lose your edge. Instead, treat them as what they are, opportunities. Smile, acknowledge them, and then lead the interaction where you want it to go. By catching these conversational cues while staying in control, you position yourself as the man who doesn't just react, he directs. And that's exactly the kind of man women want to give signals to. She waits instead of leaving 7, she waits instead of leaving. One of the clearest yet most underestimated signs that a woman wants you to make a move is when she lingers around instead of leaving. Think about it. Women always have options. If they're not interested, they'll excuse themselves, walk away, or suddenly need to meet a friend. But when she stays, even when she could easily go, she's giving you a huge window of opportunity. The question is, do you recognize it? And more importantly, do you know how to act in that moment? Picture this. You're talking to her at a cafe. She's finished her drink, she checked her phone, and technically she has no reason to hang around, but she doesn't get up. She sits there fiddling with her cup, asking you random questions or letting silences linger instead of ending the interaction. That's not boredom. It's her waiting to see if you'll take things further. The mistake most men make is assuming she's just being polite. They let the moment pass, keep the conversation flat, and eventually she leaves thinking, I gave him a chance, but he didn't take it. What you need to understand is that her staying is an invitation, but you still have to lead. So, how should you act? First, recognize the signal and match her energy. If she's lingering, don't rush. Slow down your speech, relax your posture, and let the moment breathe. This communicates that you're confident and comfortable in extended silence, something most men struggle with. Women notice this. Confidence in silence is powerful. Second, guide the interaction. If she's waiting, she wants you to suggest the next step. It doesn't have to be dramatic. You could say, I'm hungry. Let's grab something to eat nearby. Or, come on, I'll walk you out. The key is to give direction instead of waiting for her to decide. Remember, she's lingering to see if you will take charge. Third, communicate with clarity, but not pressure. If you feel the vibe is strong, you can escalate verbally in a playful way. For example, you're clearly not in a hurry to leave. What are you waiting for? Said with a smile. This acknowledges her lingering and creates a flirty undertone. It lets her know you see the signal and are ready to respond without making it awkward. Physical communication matters here too. If she stays close, take small steps to close the gap even more. Lean in slightly. Let your hand brush hers casually or lower your voice so she has to lean toward you. These subtle moves amplify the intimacy. If she doesn't pull back, that's confirmation she's open to more. Here's the bottom line. When a woman waits instead of leaving, she's not wasting time. She's giving you space to act. The men who miss this signal usually walk away confused, but the man who recognizes it slows down and confidently guides the moment will always leave with her respect, her conclusion attraction, and often her number or more. Gentlemen, here's the reality. Women rarely spell it out for you. They communicate through signals, through eye contact, proximity, body language, touch, teasing, hints, and even silence when they choose to stay instead of leaving. If you can't read those signs, you'll keep missing opportunities. But when you train yourself to notice and respond with calm confidence, you step into the role she's waiting for you to play. She doesn't need more hesitation. She needs a man who sees the opening and acts. The choice is yours. Keep guessing or start leading.